Hey everybody, welcome back to another Deck Profile Friday. So if any of you seen my Instagram lately, I posted, actually it was yesterday, um, I had a little question for everybody, which is relates to today's deck profile. What Pokemon has a really good evolution that you can capture early game in almost every single game, right? This Pokemon is absolutely game changing. I've used it in um, my Sword and Shield playthrough, my Diamond and Pearl playthrough, my Sun and Moon playthrough, my X and Y playthrough. I've pretty much used this Pokemon on pretty much every team just because it makes such a huge difference in beating the gym leaders and the Elite Four, etc. Um, and the Pokemon that I'm talking about is Gyarados, right? Gyarados is an absolute monster. Nice attack, great defense, decent speed, right? Dual typing. It's got Intimidate. Um, it's got access to Dragon Dance and some crazy moves, high attack damaging moves like Crunch and Waterfall / Aqua Tail, etc. And obviously with a jollier adamant nature. But enough kind of about the video game. We're going to talk about the deck. And the deck that I'm talking about is Gyarados from 2010. Now, it was played in the previous year, in the 2009 year. It actually won, I think it was the French Nationals, I think. Quote me if I'm wrong here, but I do believe it did win that, and it was won by a guy named Fabien Garnier. Or I will actually be posting a link to his list in the description if anyone is interested about taking a look at the list. But this is the 2010 version, and this is actually my preferred version of the deck, and I just like the whole playthrough. A lot better with it. So let's get into the deck profile. So we have 3 Gyarados and 4 Magikarp. Right, 3 Gyarados is pretty much all that you shouldn't really need more than 3 per game. Right, if you do need more, we have ways of getting it back, which I'll get into a little bit later. But the whole strategy is to use Tail Revenge there. Its first attack. It does 30 damage times the number of Magikarp in your discard pile. So our goal is to get, because you obviously need the 1 Gyarados in play. Our goal is to get 3 Magikarp in the discard pile as early as possible. And there are many ways we can do this, which I'll get into in a second. But if you can get 3, it does 90 damage. 2, it does 60, etc. Right, and there's a lot of ways to modify that damage as well, so you can score one-hit KOs on your opponent's Pokemon on things like Luxray, GL level X, which has 110 HP, Gardevoir, Psychic Lock, which has 110. You can definitely do it with Gallade and Gardevoir level X at 130. It's a little bit of a stretch, but it is possible to get that done. And then everything else, it should just, one-hit KO, right? Oh, and another big one is Gengar as well. Gengar Fainting Spell with 110 HP as well. So, pretty cool. That's the Magikarp there. This is the best one. 30 HP, which kind of sucks. Sea Spray there is actually a pretty ridiculous attack. Like, if you're able to get numerous heads off it, then it works. But if it doesn't, then oh well. Its main priority there is to evolve into Gyarados. And that's the main attacker of the deck. So now we're going to get into the setup slash support Pokemon. So we have 3 Sableye and 2 Smeargle. So Sableye there is pretty ridiculous because, you're able to impersonate. So you typically want to impersonate a Pokemon collector, right? So you can get it. And typically with that, you want to be able to grab a Reggie Ice and 2 Magikarp, so that way you can discard them right away. That'll be on the following turn after you impersonate. Another good thing with Sableye is that you're able to go first if you start with it. If both players start with Sableye, then you just start the game how you would regularly with a coin flip. Other than that, it's pretty cool. Smeargle there is actually another really good starter. These 2 here are pretty much your best starters of the deck. You want to be starting with either one of these. Smeargle is different because you're able to use Portrait, its ability there, which lets you look at your opponent's hand and use the effects of a supporter card you find there. So, and you can do that before you even attack, right? So if you start with Smeargle and you Portrait and they have a Pokemon collector, you grab your Reggie Ice, your 2 Magikarp, you play your Reggie Ice down, you use its power to discard the 2 Magikarp, and then you still have your opportunity to play a supporter and attack on that turn. So it's absolutely ridiculous, these 2. And yeah, pretty cool. So on to the next ones. We have the techs. We got 2 Uxie here, a single Azelf, a Combi, a Crobat G, a Mesprit. Actually, I'm going to move it up there. A Mesprit, a Reggie Ice, a Unknown Q, and an Unknown question mark. So, yeah, we're playing the Pixies in here. And the unknowns, pretty much like half the legendaries in Diamond and Pearl. So Uxie there is really good because it's got setup. When you play it from your hand onto your bench during your turn, you may draw cards until you have 7 in your hand. So that's really ridiculous. And if you're able to get it back into the deck or back to your hand somehow, then you could reuse that ability, which is absolutely awesome. Azelf there is for Time Walk. So you need to be playing 1 Azelf, right? It's absolutely terrible if you start with it, as you don't want to. The whole purpose is to make sure that we don't have any Magikarp in our prizes. Now, I'm not saying as well that 2 prizes being Magikarp doesn't happen, because it does. But you definitely want to get all your Magikarp out of the prizes there. So Combi there is actually really good. Not because of its attack, weakness, resistance, or retreat cost, but because of its little ability there, Honey. Once during your turn, when you put Combi from your hand onto your bench, you may search your discard pile for a basic Pokemon and put it onto your bench. So this is great at getting Magikarps back. Right, a Magikarp. So if you have all 4 in the discards, then sometimes you may have to have all 4 in the discard just to advance the state of the game. You can just play Combi, get it back, and then evolve into Gyarados with the help of Broken Time Space. And then you're all set up and ready to go. Crobat there with Flash Bite. So, like I said earlier, this is one of the means that we have to increasing the damage output of Gyarados, so you're able to get those one-hit KO knockouts. It's also really good because it's got free retreat, so pretty cool. Mesprit. So Mesprit there is for its Pokepower Psychic Bind. So when you play it from your hand onto your bench, you can use this power. Your opponent cannot use any Pokepowers during his or her next turn. So this is like a full turn power spray. And One of the strategies with this deck is that you can actually lock your opponent out of their powers by repeatedly playing that card turn after turn after turn, right? Just get them to the point where they can't do anything, and then you're just hitting for 90 or 110, etc. each turn, getting those knockouts and winning the game. Regice here is really good because it helps with Regimove to discard your Magikarps, and also it helps to circulate your opponent's active Pokemon, right? And that's an awesome power there. You're able to get those KOs a little bit more easier, as well as target something that your opponent is trying to kind of save for the following turn, right? Unknown Q. So this here's another decent starter. The chances of it getting knocked out are extremely high. You just need an Uxie or an Azelf with a single energy attached will knock it out. But it's there for its power. Quick, or you can just discard all cards, attach it, and then attach it to one of your Pokemon as a tool, and then you pay a colorless less to retreat that Pokemon. So it's great with Uxie. Those two pair extremely well together. Unknown exclamation mark. So this is a different one here. It says if unknown question mark. Is it question mark? Yeah, no, it's question mark. You may choose a Pokemon in your hand and put it face down. Your opponent guesses the type of that Pokemon, and then you reveal that card. If your opponent guessed wrong, draw a card. So this here is actually really good because of how many types we play in here. We play water, we play psychic, we play dark, we play colorless, and we play grass. Right? So that's a lot of different Pokemon types. So your opponent has a 1 in 5 chance of guessing the correct type. So, yeah, pretty cool. And it lets you draw a card if they get it wrong. So, neat little one-of. And that is it for the Pokemon. So now, we're going on to the trainers, supporters, and stadium cards. So, for those we have 4 Pokemon Collector, 3 Seeker, a Bebe Search, a single Cyrus's Conspiracy, a single Twins, and then 4 Broken Time Space. So we'll get into the trainers in a second. So Pokemon Collector there searches out any 3 basic Pokemon that we need, right? Seeker is another really good one because it allows you to return one of your Pokemon and all cards attached to your hand. So this is what allows you to use that Mesprit again. So what allows you to use that Uxie again, or that Azelf, or that Crobat, or even that Combi. Like, this card is so good in this deck. It's one of the few decks that I've seen that plays 3 Seeker or higher. So really awesome. Bebe Search there is great for searching out a evolution card. Right, we have, there's a few other ways to get it, but, having a single Bebe Search just ups that consistency a lot more. Cyrus's Conspiracy is actually pretty good. It searches out a supporter and a Team Galactic's Invention card and an energy card. Right, we don't have any searchable energy in this deck, so that's kind of gone with that part of the effect. But the supporter and the Team Galactic's Invention we do have, so definitely good to have a nice one-of in there. So Twins is another really good come from behind card. If you have more prizes left than your opponent, search your deck for up to any 2 cards and put them into your hand. So this is the Arceus V-Star's Starbirth ability, except it's only when you are behind in prizes. Broken Time Space, the stadium. Now, this stadium you need to be playing 4 of. Alright, this is a staple 4 in the deck. It allows you to evolve a Pokemon that you just played during that turn. So this is what gets your Magikarp into Gyarados turn 1, right? And this is why, actually, I'd even argue that this is why the deck exists at all, is because of this stadium. So if this stadium didn't exist, this deck wouldn't exist, and this deck wouldn't have done so well in 2009 or even in 2010. Yeah, so that's the supporters and stadiums. So now we're gonna get into the trainer cards. So for the trainer cards, we have 4 Junk Arm, 3 Super Scoop Up. We also have 3 Team Galactic Convention G105 Poketurn, 2 Pokemon Communication, 2 Warp Point, a Bubble Coat, a Expert Belt, a Luxury Ball, a Pokemon Rescue, and lastly, a single VS Seeker. So, Junk Arm. Junk Arm is another MVP of this deck. You need to be playing 4 with it. It allows you to reuse any single trainer card that you have in your discard pile by discarding 2 cards, right? And so this essentially gives you 7 Poketurn, 7 Super Scoop Up, right? 5 Expert Belt, etc. Right? It's so good. It's so versatile. You need to play 4. Really simple. Super Scoop Up. So this here is it's pretty much the Team Galactic's Poketurn, but for all Pokemon. And the only difference is that you just need the coin flip to succeed. Team Galactic's Invention Poketurn returns an SP Pokemon to your hand. So it's mainly there for Crobat, to reuse Crobat. 2 Pokemon Communication, or should I call it Pokemon Trader. You can swap a Pokemon from your hand for any Pokemon in your deck. 2 Warp Point, which is pretty much Regice there. Bubble Coat. So Bubble Coat's a really cool one. As long as it's attached, this Pokemon has no weakness. And if it becomes damaged by an opponent's attack, discard this card at the end of the turn. So it doesn't matter if it hits for weakness. If it does 10 damage to it, this card's automatically discarded. So Expert Belt, this is the second way that we can modify our damage output by Gyarados. The difference is with this, compared to the Poketurn Super Scoop Up Crobat G version, is that you do get plus 20 HP as well. And once it gets knocked out, your opponent has to, they get to take 1 more prize card. So you want to be extremely careful when using this card. I think it's better, honestly, when you have more control of the game and you're more set up. I wouldn't be using this early game because I don't want to give your opponent a advantage. Luxury Ball. So this searches your deck for any Pokemon. So we only play 1. Pokemon Rescue. So search your discard pile for a Pokemon, show it to your opponent, and put it in your hand. So another really good card. And you typically want to grab a Magikarp with this. And then, lastly as well, we have a single VS Seeker. So it searches your discard pile for a supporter, shows it to your opponent, puts it into your hand, and then it pretty much allows you to reuse your supporters again. So really awesome card here. And that is it for the trainers. There, we already went through the supporters, and now on to the energy. Right? So, energy. This is Pretty much an energy-less deck. We do play some energy, but it pretty much just revolves around Gyarados, right? And Gyarados' Tail Revenge, which is cost-free. So, we want to play 4 Rescue Energy and 2 Warp Energy. So, Rescue Energy is extremely good because when it gets knocked out, when Gyarados gets knocked out, when this card's attached to it, you just put that Pokemon back into your hand and then you discard Rescue Energy. Your opponent still takes a prize card with it, but it allows you to get your Gyarados in play again, which is awesome. And then Warp Energy as well. So when you attach Warp Energy to your active, switch that Pokemon. Switch that Pokemon with one of your bench Pokemon. So this is another really cool card. It allows you to use, how do I say this? It allows you to kind of, retreat that Smeargle or that Sableye into the Gyarados a lot easier. It gives you kind of ways to make sure that you still have like a switching card. If you're able to combo that with Seeker, because then you can just Seeker. Let's say you bring up a Mesprit to your active, right? You attach the Warp Energy, right, to it. You retreat it to you have your Gyarados on the bench, right? You Warp Energy into the Gyarados, and then you just Seeker the Mesprit and the Warp Energy back to your hand, and like you're all good. Like it's a crazy card, and a neat little 2 of in here. So I think Cyclone Energy is in here as well, like in this format. So you could play that as well if you'd like. You could even play. I know that Fabien Garnier's list played a Toxicroak G with a Psychic or 2 in his list. So you could play that, right, and possibly even add a Team Galactic's Invention G. I think it's 101 energy gain, just to be able to get that Toxicroak play off really quick. Because your main counter to this deck is Luxray GL level X, right? And the matchup was actually a lot easier if they're playing a 2-2 line compared to a 3-1 line. Because if they're playing a 3-1, then they're able to get more Luxrays out, and therefore possibly more Trash Bolts or more Bright Impacts if they're able to circulate the level X a lot easier. So, and that is it for the energy. So, awesome deck here for Gyarados for the 2010 format. Awesome card, one of my favorite Pokemon to play. And I hope everybody enjoyed that one. So, definitely a top 5 contender for sure. In the 2010 format, it's definitely a deck that I'd be bringing in my bag if I were to be playing in a 2010 tournament. And I hope you all enjoyed it. Stay tuned to next Monday's live opening video, and then next Wednesday's there's some more live gameplay, and then obviously next Friday's deck profile Friday. Should be pretty cool. I've been doing them every week for probably since November, and my whole goal with it is to pretty much educate the Pokemon world, and get people playing more retro formats. So awesome. Thank you so much, everybody. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to this, and let me know what you want to see, right? And just let me know, and I'll try and make a video on that. So awesome. Thank you, everybody, and take care. Have a good day.